always nice, huh? When the show immediately starts and your internet goes out. Things are really going well for me today. But they might go very well for my main man, Shay Hoxton. Hopefully we're back up, right? Check, check, 1, 2. You can hear me? You can hear my ill groans. Technical difficulties aside, we got Tracy James out of the truck. And Shay Hoxton, who had to walk around the ring a couple of times there until he got back up and running. Looking to become world champion one final time here at Validation. And his opponent at Final Stand, his fellow Sin City native, Cam Harris, in action a bit later on, representing Team Shockwave inside the Hell in a Cell. But keeping a watchful eye, I'm sure, because again, Cam Harris in an interesting kind of way, I'm sure he's rooting for Hoxton here. Because if Hoxton does win, and he walks into their match as global champion, well, hell, it's going to be a championship match, surely. But it's an easier task said than done for the Hall of Famers, sharing the ring with 3 fellow former world champions and, of course, the current defending global champion, Chris Diamond, in a ring full of men that he's very familiar with for the most part. Probably none more than this man, representing the Hallowed, the former global champion, Hunter Quinn. We're not coming out here alone. He is going to have Michael Hawk of the Hallowed in his corner. The rest of the Hallowed, we know, going to be representing Team Octane a bit later on in that 8-man elimination tag team matchup. That includes the new Intercontinental Champion, Gus Nivelle. And Hunter Quinn, even going so far as to say, maybe I was wrong about Gus Nivelle at the start, but Nivelle bringing championship gold to the Hallowed. And now Hunter Quinn looks to do the same, become a 2-time global champion. It's a championship scramble matchup, though, and that means all 5 men will be in the ring at the same time. 25 minutes will be put on the clock, and at the end of that time limit, the superstar with the most falls, either by pin or submission, you can earn points, will leave as global champion. This also means that if the match ends in a draw, and in any way, I don't just mean if nobody scores a fall. Let's say Shay Hoxton gets a pin, Hunter Quinn gets a pin, the match ends, that's technically a draw. Even though Chris Diamond didn't get a fall, he will retain the global championship. So really all Diamond has to do in this match is go on the defensive, make sure nobody gets a fall, and he will leave Los Angeles still the global champion. But again, that's not going to be easy. But a former global champion, was his first ever championship here in CMV. Mr. No Days Off in especially hostile territory, considering his former best friend, the CMV champion Blake Virtue, is the hometown hero here tonight, defending that CMV championship in our main event against the men's Royal Rumble match winner Schmidty. Troy Cole, fresh off of earning the biggest contract in Octane history to become exclusive to the A show. He, of course, challenged Chris Diamond for the global championship a couple weeks back, defeated Diamond, but by countout. So he did not win the championship. Colt said he did that on purpose, because if he's going to beat Diamond, if he's going to be global champion, he's not going to do it on Octane. He's going to do it on a big stage like Validation. Well, now he's got to compete against 3 other just as hungry Titans who are all looking to do the same thing here tonight. And the odds are not in the favor of our defending champion. I guess Kai Victor gets the honor of coming out last. He's running a little bit late. He had to get his suit pressed after it got all messed up during that brawl on Octane. Understandable. Also understandable that Diamond was not happy about being made to defend his championship in a scramble like this. But look, I think everybody had a fair point. Hoxton, Quinn, Colt, Victor, they all wanted a shot. Why not give them all a shot in one go? Two birds, one stone, the saying goes. He worked very hard to win back that global championship to become global handed out once again, but well, he has a very poor history with world titles here in CMV. Despite being a former global champion, a former CMV champion multiple times, he's never held on to a world championship for very long. Can Diamond ensure that this time will be different? And now, last but not least, the last man standing in that chaotic brawl this past Octane. We saw Hoxton, Quinn, Colt, and Victory beat the hell out of each other all up and down the backstage area, and Victor was the only man who was able to stand on his own 2 feet when the dust settled. Like Michael Hawk, maybe he was the one holding up Kai Victory backstage, trying to make sure he didn't make it to the match perhaps. Trying to talk him into joining the local church. But the former global champion, there's a strong case to be made that nobody's had a better season than Kai Victory. Came into it, won the Climb to Fame contract, started Victory Inc., cashed in that Climb to Fame contract at Ascendance 13 to become global champion, and now he looks to end this season as global champion. So here we go. That's what it's all about, the Global Championship. Like Hunter Quinn and Kai Victor getting a little extra comfortable there in the corner. But here we go. The bell rings. And oh my God, there's immediately a donation made to the Break Your Neck Foundation. I think also Kai Victory tried to hit Hunter Quinn with a pile driver. These guys are wasting absolutely no time getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I guess you can in a matchup like this. You want to try to score a fall as fast as you can, kind of set the pace and take the lead as soon as you can. You can see the 25 minutes beginning to count down in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. When it hits 0, whomever has the most falls will lead as the global champion. Once again, if this ends in a draw in any way, Chris Diamond retains the global championship. It's also worth mentioning there are no countouts and there are no disqualifications in this match. So with Michael Hawk in the corner, Hunter Quinn, we'll have to keep our eyes on him, see if he might try to get directly involved in this one. Looks like he has a chance. Shay Hodgson just rolled out in front of him, but Chris Diamond going to bring a table into the ring here. As he lifts up Kai Victory, perhaps able to escape those. Victory with a shot to the back of the knee. Colt's going to go to pick up the table. Victory does not allow that, though, and instead going to try to roll Colt up to score the first fall, and he almost does, too. Obviously, most of the season, Kai Victory spent fighting Troy Colt's protege, Chloe Marks, who ended up taking Victory Inc. from him. Now 1/3 of the trio's champions. I'm sure Colt has not forgotten what Victory put his friend through for so many months. Diamond at ringside. Someone also pulled out a ladder. I didn't even see that. Michael Hawk's just trying to keep himself safe as Diamond goes digging for a sledgehammer. Hunter Quinn's got a kendo stick, but the sledgehammer strikes first and strikes hardest. But now Hunter's going to throw Diamond back first into that steel barricade, and a smart man would wager that Hoxton, Quinn, Colt, and Victory are not at 100% after that brawl we saw on Octane. And now what's Michael Hawk up to? Didn't take him long to decide to get involved. But Troy Cole going to bring up that pin attempt. Like I was saying on Octane, I'm sure Chris Diamond loved seeing these four, beat the hell out of each other the way they did during that brawl. Gives him at least one, even if it's a sliver of an edge. It's an edge nonetheless, and one he can try to use here. Drops down behind his Hunter Quinn for a shot to the back of Hoxton's knee. Hoxton, who ran him over a couple of weeks ago, and anybody else wouldn't be here tonight, but Hunter Quinn, the unit, the tank of a man that he is. Oh, big sit-out powerbomb by Colt into the pin, but Hoxton actually breaks up the pin by pushing the ref over as he rolled back into the ring. And now Hunter Quinn's got a baseball bat, and he's going to take it to Chris Diamond, whacks him over the head with it. Chris Diamond, of course, defeated Hunter Quinn at Mob Violence to become global champion. Quite the upset, considering just how, well, stacked odds were against Diamond on that night, and he was able to persevere, so let's not count him out of this. Jawbreaker, and then, I don't know how Hoxton was able to see that coming, but now he's going to get dragged to the bottom of the Thames. That chicken wing crossface is broken up by Diamond. Cameron Cray reeling his ugly head there. And another donation is about to be made to the Break Your Neck Foundation. High Victory blasted. But breaks at the pin. Hang on, Hunter Quinn. I don't think he would have been able to make it over there to break up that other pin. Lucky that Hawks was able to kick out. And a 330 slam onto the chair. The back of Hoxton's head thwacking off the steel chair, and that's not enough, I guess. Colt gonna follow it up with one of those nasty sit-out power bombs. Victory has blocked himself, though, for breaking up the pin. Hoxton kicks out again, though. Victory almost just accidentally screwed himself by, building that barricade unintentionally. And there's Hunter Quinn with the baseball bat, putting it to good use as now he tries to score the first ball. Will Hunter Quinn take the lead? Kick out by Victory. This match is already so insane. Only 5 minutes has gone by. Sit out choke slam. The Hellhound trying to regain the global championship, bring even more gold to the hallowed occults with a sharp eye, making sure that does not happen. Here comes Diamond's got the sledgehammer. Looks like he's going for Colt. These two have been embroiled in an escalating rivalry over the last month and change. Of course, Diamond beat Colt by countout in the Gold Rush tournament. And Colt responded by beating Diamond by countout in their global championship match a couple weeks ago. That exposed turnbuckle's getting a lot of use. Thank you, Michael Hawk. As Kai Victor, instead of actually setting up that table, he's just throwing it at everyone. Backbreaker by Hoxton. Follows it up with a stomp to the face. Global championship on the line here to kick off validation. Hunter Quinn in. Try and mess up Victory's whole flow he's got going on. A punch to the gut. And a Northern Light suplex by Hoxton that floats over. Look at the strength of the Gambler. Into a brainbuster onto the table. Now has the baseball bat, just throws it at Kai Victory. It looks like it hit his elbow. Hunter Quinn can't afford to hang around at ringside for too long. Typically, I'd say in a multi-man match like this, you want to keep yourself on the outskirts, pick your spots, but in a scramble where a pin or submission can happen at any time, where you need to be on high alert at all times, you can't really afford to dilly-dally, if you will. Power slam to Colt on the table as Hoxton tries for a dirty pin again. No disqualifications, and Hunter Quinn, Chris Diamond teaming up there for a second to break up the pin together. Now Hoxton's going to go for the table. Let's see if he actually sets it up. Gonna bash, well, tries to bash Hunter Quinn in the face with it. I think that pales in comparison to running someone over with a car, but I digress. Vintage Hunter Quinn, Tiger Bomb! 1, 2, and Hunter so nearly able to take the lead. Nobody scored a fall yet, guys, and that's good for Chris Diamond. Like I said, he just needs to play defense. If nobody scores a fall and this match ends, he is still global champion. Troy Colt gonna actually set the table up. Get a load of this, but then he gets caught with a pile driver, courtesy of the investor Kai Victory. And of course, he's gonna knock over the table as Victory now unable to even get a 1 count as Diamond is there to break up the pin right away. Now out of the corner from the top rope with that moonsault. Colt gets himself out of the ring to avoid getting pinned. Here comes Quinn's got the baseball bat again, bash in the face, and Kai Victory too. Everybody's getting wood in this match. And a Diamond cutter! Face first off the pine. Will Diamond take the lead, even though he doesn't have to? No, kick out at 2. And Toxin doing that ringside. Looks like he's got Kai Victory caught up with some sort of submission, but this is not Falls Count anywhere. Break your neck foundation! Diamond hooks the leg! But Troy Colt back into the mix just in time to make sure the champion... Oh my God! He's handing him out! Break your neck foundation! To Troy Colt, but Hunter's back up! Hunter Quinn's back up! Goes for the Psycho Driller. Diamond sees it coming. Can Hoxton try to capitalize when you pin Troy Colt? Super kick! As Hoxton is thrown chest first into that exposed top turnbuckle. I think that's 4 times Diamond has hit the break the neck foundation in this match already. Straight jacket DDT. Kai Victory, nice voice break there. Again, though, his pin gets broken up before even the count of 1. He's going to make Troy Colt pay for that. The crossface Chicken tries to lock it in. Diamond breaks it up. I don't even know if he meant to do that on purpose. Colt kick! Colt kick! Colt kick! But Hoxton wags his finger, says, Gets put down with a European uppercut to the back of the head. 330 slam, no, Diamond! Denied! Break your neck foundation! This is too many donations! Look at Hunter Quinn just gingerly waiting to break up that pin. Saying not on his watch. Big kicks to the face of the global champion while Hoxton plays it a bit safe. Waits for his spot. Gonna jump Hunter Quinn from behind. Over to the ropes. And Hoxton, this is his kind of match where there are no rules. He doesn't have to worry about covering his ass by any means necessary to become world champion one final time here in CMV. Kai Victory smashed upside the face with the table. He's been busted open, I just realized. I didn't even see that before. Hoxton into the pin! Wow, I think that might have been it too. Troy Colt with a big save right there. I think Hoxton might have had that point scored otherwise. Scoop slam now as Hunter Quinn. Anaconda Vice! Anaconda Vice locked in! But it's broken up by Hunter Quinn almost instantaneously. And he's just going to try to pin, everybody's trying to pin Kai Victory. Nobody's having much luck though, unfortunately, in actually doing so. Hunter Quinn with that baseball bat, it's been his best friend in this match. Gut wrench, power bomb. So the Hellhound, Kai Victory now has the table. Gets it knocked out of his hands and right into the exposed turnbuckle. Victory gets right back up. I've loved watching the evolution of Kai Victory as a competitor this season, especially these last few months though. And since he lost the Global Championship, we've seen a new side of Kai Victory, actually hard working. He's really ramped up his work ethic too. I've seen him in the gym, in the Performance Center, day in, day out, working to become Global Champion once again. And it might happen right here tonight. Pile driver, but Hunter Quinn skulking. He's not going to let that happen. Kai goes for it. He says Hail Mary, but the pin gets broken up. And now maybe Troy Colt looking to work with Hunter Quinn, but Hunter Quinn not interested. KO kick might be incoming. Kai Victory with a reverse DDT. Everybody into the ring right now. Still nobody has scored a fall. And that's about as good news gets for Chris Diamond in a match like this. Well, there goes Kai Victory thrown out of the ring as Troy Colt unloads on Diamond. You just got to wait for someone to come to him, though, because it's not a falls count anywhere. You have to pin or submit someone in the ring in order to score a point. Oh, there goes Diamond, taken down with a shot to the head. With the baseball bat by Hunter Quinn. Now Hoxton has it. Troy Colton going to chop it out of his hands. And we're going to see Hunter Quinn and Shea Hoxton. Maybe, no, they try to work together. But it's for naught. Troy Colton with a meeting of the minds. But then gets put down hard with a Tiger driver on the floor. And now Hoxton also put down devastatingly with that sit-out choke slam. Kai Victor's just waiting in the ring. He's pacing back and forth. He's like a bull waiting to be released from its pen. Hunter Quinn gonna get caught from behind. Takes him off his feet. Woo! No, wait a minute. Not a figure four. Little Terry Funk action. Anaconda Vice. Troy Colt's got it locked in again. Anaconda Vice is locked in. Will Victory tap? No, he does not tap. And Troy Colt instead opts to release the hold. Another sit-out choke slam to Shea Hoxton, who's also been busted open, I see. Colt gonna try to steal the pin, but breaks it up. Hunter Quinn, easy pickings right now. Diamond, though, gonna set up the table. Hunter, please wake up. He's on them spaghetti legs here. Chris Diamond, will the champion take the lead? Yes, he will! Chris Diamond has scored the first fall. And guys, that now means that anybody else is gonna have to score 2 falls in order to leave with the Global Championship. And Kai just rolled Hunter Quinn up. But a kick out at 2.5. With just a smidge over 10 minutes remaining. More than enough time for anybody else to score 2 falls, but that's what it's going to take now. Diamond in the lead. And so now, even if, let's say, Hunter Quinn scores a pin, that won't matter. He needs to score 2 points in order to walk out here as global champion. Diamond just making extra sure his championship's going nowhere tonight. But like I said, 10 minutes. Gonna seem like an eternity. Especially now at this point, everybody is so worn down that a pin can happen in an instant, like it just did with Diamond pinning Kai Victory. Oh, a kick to the gut of Shea Hoxton. Looks like Colt's gonna go to the corner. He could be calling for that running elbow to the back of the head, but Hoxton knows him too well. These two have fought so many times. He knew that it was coming. Caught with elbows to the midsection. As he tries for a knee, Hoxton, though, rolls out of the way. 21! No, Troy Colt. Instead with a big chop to the throat of Hoxton. A forearm to the back of Colt's head puts him down. So Diamond is currently in the lead with 1 point scored. He pinned Kai Victory. Both Troy Colt and Kai Victory. Loopy. Diamond's got his pick. Who's he going to go for? He's going to go for Troy Colt. Tiger bomb into the pick, and he tie it up. 1, 2, 3. Yes, he can. Hunter Quinn now needs to score another fall, and he might do it right now. God damn it. Psycho Drilla, the Hellhound, has been unchained. 1, 2, 3. Hunter Quinn takes the lead. But Diamond's back in. Diamond cutter. Hoxton's going for a pin too. Wait, whose pin is it? Diamond pins Hunter Quinn. It's tied up again. It's 2-2. But Diamond looks to make it 3 points. Break the neck foundation, but the pin is broken up by the Gambler. So let's reset here, my friends. It is now 2-2. 2 points for Hunter Quinn and 2 points for the defending global champion, Chris Diamond. It's a draw. So Hunter Quinn needs to score another fall, or Hoxton! Luger landing! But Troy Colt, that persistent thorn in the side, as he throws Hoxton now into the exposed steel. Hunter Quinn trying to psych himself up. He has 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to score another fall, either by pin or submission, to make sure he leaves validation as global champion. I still can't believe he scored those 2 falls back to back like that. Oh, as he sends Hoxton into the table. The table, wait a minute! Flapjack! Through the table, but he can't go for the pin. Hoxton rolls out of the ring. Psycho drill attempted. Big jumping knee from the champion. Colt's going for the steel steps. He needs a little bit of help here. What the hell is Diamond trying to do to Hunter Quinn meanwhile? A little bit of help. Hunter Quinn and Troy Colt work together to take out the champion, but there's no friendship in a match like this. To throw those steel steps. Those are like 20 pounds plus, by the way. Pure steel into the pin. Can Hunter do it? But Colt sneaks back in to break it up. Now is he trying to carry Hunter to over to the ropes. Drops him chest first on the top rope. Everybody back in with just 5.5 minutes left on the clock. If time expires and nobody has scored another fall, wait! Super 21! And the steel steps to Kai victory. Troy Colt gonna try to poach the pin, but immediately Shay Hoxton says, "What the hell do you think you're doing, scumbag?" Troy Colt just trying to pin Kai again. He's gonna try to pin Hoxton, but Kai gets back up to break it up. And now Kai! His patented shoulder breaker! Can he score a fall? Diamond makes sure it doesn't happen. He'd have to score 3 falls in under 5 minutes. Not impossible. We saw Hunter Quinn score 2 falls in a matter of 10 seconds. So it's not like it can't be done. Highly improbable DDT! Kai Victory obscured his own vision, picking up those steel steps. And now Kai, with blood in his eyes, the investor, drags down the champion. He's got the chicken wing crossface locked in. Will Diamond tap? He refuses to give Kai Victory the point. Really, guys, at this point, it comes down to Hunter Quinn. He needs to score just 1 fall. He's tied right now with Chris Diamond, 2 points apiece. Lighten up that knee of Hoxton. Diamond? Pedigree! But it took everything out of him. Diamond! Crawls into the pin! Middle of the ring! But in the background, we see Troy Colt slide into the ring. Gonna break up that pin. Hunter Quinn. They're trying to put Troy Colt up top. Hoxton throwing Diamond. Colt kick! Colt kick! Is Troy Colt gonna score a fall? Hunter Quinn denies him. And Hunter! Hunter! Can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, Kai Victory not only breaks at the pin, but he took out the referee too. So now the ref is down, possibly for the remainder of the match. As Chris Diamond stares up at the bright lights, Hunter Quinn's got the baseball bat, and I guess Hunter Quinn's saying, if I'm not going to take the championship, I'm sure as hell going to take your goddamn arm with me. Look at Diamond's back. Hunter Quinn is bloodthirsty as he throws Diamond into the ring now. every single competitor in this match looks like they've been hit head on by a Mack truck. Big forearm smash from off the ropes. There's just 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. It really comes down to Hunter Quinn. He's the only one that can do it, and he might do it. He might do it, goddammit. He might do it. But it's Kai Victory again, and the ref is moving slow after she got that elbow to the back of the head. But Hunter, oh, taken down by Diamond. And that could be good night, sweet prince. Diamond gonna pull Victor to his feet. Referee's checking on Diamond over there. Diamond driver! Chris Diamond, he doesn't have to score another point. But he's gonna take that sledgehammer, drive it down onto the midsection of Kai Victory. Hoxton back into the ring. Hunter Quinn back into the ring. With just 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Desperately, Kai goes for a pin, even just one fall, but no. The right off to Kai Victory. Hoxton gonna take Colt up, drops him on his knees. Blowing out that lung. Diamond's back up. Donation to the Breaking Neck Foundation. But Colt gets himself back up to break up the pin. Anaconda Vice! Anaconda Vice! Anaconda Vice! But Hunter Quinn! He's gonna try to steal the pin! Troy Colt says, no, amigo. I think not. And Hunter with a big boot. You can do it, Hunter. There's still time, Hunter. There's still time, Hunter. He's gonna try his last chance, but Kai Victory! The stinking Hunter Quinn's crawl! And now Kai! Chicken wing crossface! Hunter Quinn breaks free! There's still a chance, slim as it might be! Hunter Quinn! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4! But the pin is broken up! And ladies and gentlemen, still the CMV Global Champion, technically via draw, is Chris Diamond. Hunter Quinn had it. He had it there the last 10 seconds, but the ref was distracted. Everybody piled in to break up the pin, and as a result, Chris Diamond is still your CMV Global Champion. What an unbelievable way to kick off the show, my friends. And yes, that's how we kicked off the show. We've still got so much more coming your way here at Validation. And up next, it begins the Battle of the Brands. This is the battlefield here in Los Angeles, and a series of 3 matchups will decide which brand is best here in CMV. Gets not only undisputed bragging rights, but more importantly, guys, in the upcoming CMV draft, the winning general manager, either myself, of course, representing Octane, or Adam Valentine, the general manager of Shockwave, will get 10 uninterrupted draft picks. And if one brand can do a clean sweep, that means win all 3 matches here tonight, that's an additional 5 uninterrupted draft picks. So safe to say, a lot on the line for Octane and for Shockwave here tonight. But I'm confident in the team that I've put together. Getting started with the Halloweds representatives, Max Cutter, and the new Intercontinental Champion, Gus Novell, who just a couple of days ago defeated Remy Martin in a fantastic Octane main event to become the new champion. Unfortunately, Hunter Quinn, as we just saw a few minutes ago, unable, despite coming so close, to bring even more championship gold to the Hallowed. But not only have I got the raw intensity, the willingness to do anything represented by the Hallowed on my team, but I've also got pure knockout power. And that's represented by the former pro boxer, the KO Kid, Carlos Corvo, a former Intercontinental Champion in his own right. Fresh off that win a couple nights ago against Jack Taylor. And after the match, we of course saw him drive off Joey Bacon, who was trying to make a meal, a little snack out of Jack Taylor. A lot of history between Bacon and Corvo. A little surprising to say this is the first time they're ever going to meet in a CMV ring in a matchup. Well, they might not, if one of them gets eliminated early on, because this is elimination rules. All members of one team have to be eliminated either by pin, submission, countout, or disqualification in order for the other team to win. And I've also got the X Factor, the dark horse, the largely unknown Roderick Devaney, pure magic, no Stevie Wizard, who I think would have beaten Josh Wolf a couple weeks ago if that match had unfortunately not ended unceremoniously because of the referee having a heart attack, nearly dying mid-matchup. I just hope that his head is in the game, this young kid, after he and Owen O'Rourke got into a heated confrontation this past Octane, following Josh Wolf defeating O'Rourke. Now that's a team right there. Roderick Devaney, Carlos Corvo, the Hallowed. That's the A team, baby. Now let's see who Shockwave brought to the dance. Okay. Look, I said it last week. If I were Adam Valentine, this would have been my number 1 pick to be on my team, so I'm not going to front. Big Ham, Joey Bacon, the now former Anarchy champion, as this past Shockwave, despite defeating Tobias Jones and then Diamante, was slain at last by Mike Magnum Maxwell, the new Anarchy champion. But Bacon's appetite has only grown. We saw that on Octane when he tried to break Jack Taylor in half and would have if not for Carlos Corvo. Well, now that little bish is going to pay for it here tonight. Because you know Bacon wants to get his big meaty claws on Carlos Corvo. A matchup that will set the tone for the remainder of the night, heading into that TLC match, and of course, Hell in a Cell. Octane, Shockwave locker rooms in the back, watching intently, offering moral support. A vested interest everyone in CMV has in the outcome of these battles tonight, again, heading into the draft. And here's a man that Adam Valentine made qualify to be on his team. I would have never. Adam Valentine is a fool because Andrew Briggs, he wouldn't have had to do a damn thing. He would have been on my team in a heartbeat. The former CMV champion, a future Hall of Famer. Defeated Jeremy Barmore to earn his spot here at Validation. So you got the undisputed power of Joey Bacon, the speed, agility, and cunning of Andrew Briggs. And then you have the lowdown, dirty heel tactics of the one and only OG. The Hall of Famer, Xander Slade, who also had to qualify to be on Team Shockwave here tonight. He defeated Alan Wagner to earn his spot, who, well, just so happens is going to be the last member of Team Shockwave here in this match. Something Xander Slates is very obviously not happy about. Despite Adam Valentine telling him to build a bridge and get over it, we saw this past Shockwave Xander Slate ditch Alan Wagner during their tag team matchup against Lorenzo Alexander, and Remy Martin led to Wagner getting put down. Hopefully, for their sake, obviously I don't care, but for the sake of Team Shockwave, their differences can be put aside for just one night only. And finally for Team Shockwave, much like Roderick Devaney on my team, Alan Wagner representing the unknown here, debuting at Mob Violence in the men's Royal Rumble matchup. Only been here a few weeks, but I think it goes a long way in telling you everything you need to know about Alan Wagner and how talented this man is. One of the biggest events of the year for CMV, and he is on a team with Joey Bacon, Andrew Briggs, and Xander Slate. Part of me, though, feels like Adam Valentine only put Wagner on Team Shockwave to irritate Xander Slate, but nonetheless, Wagner is looking to make the most of this opportunity given to him. Eight-man elimination tag team matchup will set the pace for what's to come throughout the show. So here we go. And again, the entire team must be eliminated by pin, submission, countout, or disqualification. As we see, it's going to be the new Intercontinental Champion, Gus Neville, who immediately, my God! This man just shattered his kneecaps, though. I hope the sacrifice is worth it. Xander Slade a little nervous. Gustavo gives one to him too! What, are you kidding me? But now Joey Bacon's back up thanks to Xander Slate, sacrificing himself there. And Novell's getting some wet willies. Not how the Hound of the Hallowed wanted to kick off his reign as the new Intercontinental Champion, I'm sure. And that Xander Slate is out cold. The referee is being lenient, certainly, because she could count him out, and she is. Okay, she's going a little bit fast now, I feel like. Give him a chance. He's back to his seat. He's got to get out. He's going to get disqualified, and Team Shockwave will be down immediately. Here's a tag to Max Cutter. Novell is going hard in the paint. As now Max Cutter looks to take over, drag Big Bacon. I mean, the objective of Team Octane here has to be to take out Bacon. He is the biggest threat. Literally and figuratively, massive slam to the Violent One. No time for violence, but Carlos Corvo cheekily gets in there to break it up and then runs back out of the 8 before Bacon didn't even notice. The former Anarchy champion with a powerbomb and a roar echoing throughout the arena here in Los Angeles. There might be an earthquake tonight. Taken down is Max Cutter, 600 pounds. Oh, but Cutter saves himself from getting turned to jam. Here at Validation, still a boot to the side of the head, and now it's Roderick Devady who comes in to make the save. Hot and heavy, no time for dancing about. This is a war. As Max Cutter now gets turned into some pizza dough, getting tossed around like it ain't no thing but a chicken wing. And Bacon now makes a tag to Andrew Briggs while Cutter tries to make a tag to Gustavo, and he does. Go right after the former CMV champion with a, I don't even know what to call that. Sort of like a pump handle? Something or another. The kids doing things these days I can't even wrap my head around. But Novell, springboard beautifully executed as he brings Briggs to his feet. Big hook to the jaw. Now some shots to the body, really wearing down the veteran. Briggs hasn't had a chance to get going as Novell slams him head first off the top turnbuckle. Crafty counter though by the benchmark. The future Hall of Famer, undoubtedly. Big shots. As he now makes the tag. No, goes to the top. Andrew Briggs. Vintage. Spiral tap. As he tries to eliminate Gustavo, but Max Cutter saves his stablemate and takes out the ref. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But that's certainly the way. Briggs attempting to eliminate the Intercontinental Champion here, who's able to roll over him into a pin, but again, the ref's down. And it looks like Novell would have Briggs eliminated too. Look at this. That was like a 10 count right there. Into the corner. Technically an illegal tag, as the referee did not see it, but Carlos Corvo is now in. Ooh, assisted back suplex while Roger Devady tries to hype up some fans in the front row over there. Oh, big right hand! A knockout punch, but Wagner now puts the team on his back, and Joey Bacon can't help himself and gets decked by his biggest rival, cracking him across the jaw. Bacon is dreaming of cheeseburgers, but the distraction might pay off. Big knee from Briggs. Oh, kick out. Gustavo trying to help out, but the referee's getting a bit fed up at this point, I think. These boys better start being a little extra careful. Get themselves disqualified. Bacon might. Oh, there he goes. He's got to get out of the ring before he gets disqualified. Tag made to Xander Slate. Nobody has been eliminated yet. Xander, I don't think he realizes who the legal man is. It's still Carlos Corvo. He's going after anybody else, though. And a DDT to Max Cutter off the apron. As now he realizes the KO Kid is who he's got to go after. Throws him back into the ring. And the OG Dirty Heel. With a big boot to the Chilean into the pin. 1, 2. A kick out at 2.5 has Xander Slate miffed. But the former CMV champion, Hall of Famer, tries to lift Corvo up, drops down behind him though. Corvo busted open. Looks like a cut in the middle of his forehead. Scoop slam to Xander Slate. And I think a good idea here is going to try to make a tag, but a tag's made to Joey Bacon and Corvo can't help himself. He sees Bacon get tagged in, and he changes his mind. Cheap shot there to Alan Wagner. Xander Slate is no longer legal. Oh no, look at Bacon lying in wait. Sit out power on the Slate. But big ham, gonna try to roll him up. 1, 2. Oh my God, can you imagine? We never would have heard the end of it. But Bacon's not letting him go anywhere anytime soon. Power slam. These two have hated one another for years. It goes a long way back. But this is their first time ever coming face to face in a CMV match. And this is not where Bacon wants to be. A tag to Roderick Devaney. Time to make some magic happen, kid. Rocket launcher. The team effort takes down Big Ham. As Devaney now. Can he actually get him hooked? He's got Bacon down. Middle of the ring. But I don't know if he can actually properly apply that submission of his. Bacon's just too big. He's too thick. I couldn't really tell from that angle, but either way, Andrew Briggs made the save. As Bacon now tags in Alan Wagner. How about this team up? Spread the legs. Wagner from off top with a headbutt to where the sun don't shine. Welcome to the big leagues, Roger Devaney. And now we're going to see the two newcomers, the two rookies in this matchup. Roger Devaney and Alan Wagner, I was going to say, square up, but it looks like Bacon's not finished with poor Devaney. Wagner taking out all of Team Octane by himself. Oh, the ref! Taken out inadvertently with that suplex into the ring. Well, at least that's going to save Devaney from getting counted out. The ref was already up to 5. What is happening? This one's just devolving before our very eyes with the ref down. Nobody to maintain any semblance of protocol here. Wagner with an impaler DDT. But with the officials still down, Wagner can't try to go for the pin and eliminate Roger Devaney. Corvo finally gets out of the ring as Magic gets sent into the corner. And a tag made to Joey Bacon. The two bigger boys on Team Shockwave. Lighting Devaney up. Jacking his jaw. Oh my God, this poor referee. All right, she should start disqualifying people at this point. It's getting ridiculous. Corvo, whether on purpose or not, she just got back up. Oh my word. Bacon! 600 pounds trapping Roger Devaney in the corner there with absolutely nowhere to go. And unable to breathe with that much pressure on your midsection and chest. Now into the opposite corner. Bacon a bit slower this time as it looks to punish Roderick Devaney. Takes a bite out of that perfect ass. I don't blame him. I might try to get a little nibble too if I was in there. But now Bacon, who I'm sure already cleared out catering earlier tonight, but he's still hungry. Big cross body by Devaney, who I think wants to get out of here, and I do not blame him for a single second. Tag to the Intercontinental Champion, and here's the two men who kicked off the match now back in. As Novell with an Irish whip sends Bacon off the ropes on the rebound. Going to try to go low. Maybe try to target the arm here, but Bacon with an elbow to the side of the head rocks Novell just long enough to plow him. That's got to be like getting hit with a runaway train, man. Head on. Full steam. And the corner's the last place you want to be when you are against Joey Bacon. Slap that belly. Give him the old 5-star. To the top. An atom bomb. Crushing Gus Novell. And will Team Shockwave score the first elimination, but Devaney back in to make the save. However, he may have really just prolonged the inevitable fate of Gus Novell here at the hands of Big Ham, because you know what comes next. Novell dragged like prey back to a den. Baconator! Count to 1 million, brother. 1, 2, kick out! Okay. Gus Novell, we gotta check that jacket, man. It might be made of some steel plating. I don't know how else you explain this kid being able to kick out there. Well, oh, spear from Wagner. If the Baconator didn't do it, that most certainly will. Another one! Gus Novell's eliminated, but Max Cutter might be about to join him. Wagner with 2 eliminations. He just took out the Hallowed all by himself, but a knockout punch from Carlos Corvo. Xander Sladen, all of Team Shockwave, and the referee's been taken out again. But oh my God, okay. Let me take a deep breath here because we've got to reevaluate. So both Max Cutter and Gus Novell were just eliminated back-to-back. The Hallowed's gone. The ref is down. Brass knucks. But Wagner saw it coming. He might be new to CMV, but he ain't new to the game, brother. Alan Wagner, the MVP of Team Shockwave. I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. Team Octane still has Roger Devaney and Carlos Corvo left. They can pull it off. It's possible. My hopes and dreams aren't being dashed before my very eyes. Wagner looking to dish out perhaps another spear. Oh, big punch to the throat. Just yeets him out of the corner like it ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Wagner had to eliminate all of Team Octane by himself. Hey, Bacon, Briggs, Slate, take the rest of the night off. I think Wagner might have it from here. A cutter from the Luchador. Is he actually going to do it? 1, 2, 3. He eliminates Corvo. It's down to Roger Devaney. Can magic make it happen here at Validation? He's got to stop Wagner, and he's trying to hug him from behind to death. I don't know what the hell this is. He's just clinging to Wagner for dear life. Wagner breaks free, though, and it is now 1-on-4. And the rookie, Roger Devaney, all by himself. As Wagner says, I'll let you guys shine a little bit. Here you go. I'll let you guys have a little bit of the glory. Tags Joey Bacon in. Oh my God, look, I don't even think I would blame Roger Devaney for just walking out of here at this point. I hate to say I don't have much hope. If Devaney can actually pull this off, I don't even know what I would do. I might just give him Octane. He could just take over. He would deserve it. 1-on-4? Oh, and come on, really? He can't even go for a pin. You can't even let the guy try. Can we make some magic happen here at Validation? Bacon sent into the corner. And every single, oh my God, squashed! Why, Devaney? Why would you do that? Why in the Lord's name would you do that? Makes up for it. Ooh, Bacon just slammed his face right off that bottom turnbuckle. I can see Xander Slate is not impressed with Alan Wagner. He's going to show Wagner how it's done. Says, you think you're cool? 3 eliminations? Big deal, buddy. Watch this. The OG Dirty Heel. Gonna pulverize the rookie. But no, Devaney saves himself from that apron powerbomb Slate was trying to set up, and instead just throws Devaney at Wagner and then into the LED ring post. Grabs Devaney by the back of the head. What's Bacon doing over there? Count of 7 into the ring. Oh, Bacon, you're no longer legal, buddy. He's probably hungry. He's telling Slate, wrap this match up. And that's exactly what Slate's gonna do with a tanker kick. The magic has been dashed. 1, 2, no! There's still something left. I don't know what the hell it is. Dragged by arm, by leg. But this kid's still getting to his feet. How can you not give your respect to Roger Devaney? Most in his position would have tucked tail and run out of here. And again, I don't even think I would really hold it against him. Look at what he's up against here. Slate gonna go for it again. Devaney counters, power slam to the OG Dirty Deal, and desperation takes root. Roger Devaney, with whatever he's got left, takes Slate down, ties up the arms. This sort of rear naked choke. Can never tell if he really has it properly locked in though with these angles. Whether he does or not, Xander Slate escapes. Look at the back of Devaney at this point. It is bruised to high hell. They got out the frying pans here, man. Worked this kid over something nasty. And now Slate telling Wagner, you watching? You watching? Tag to Joey Bacon. And Bacon gonna set him up. Take the kick! Another one. But Bacon gonna give him a little extra cushion. Baconator! 1, 2, 3! A clean sweep for Team Shockwave. Big deal. Well, even I have to admit, Alan Wagner probably could have just had him come out here tonight. The rest of the guys could have stayed in catering, had a couple of brewskis. 3 eliminations for Alan Wagner. He took out the Hallowed and Carlos Corvo all on his own. But in the end, Xander Slate and Joey Bacon working together to create some magic of their own and make it a clean sweep for Team Shockwave to kick off the Battle of the Brands. It's not over, though. We still have 2 more matches. We still have TLC and Hell in a Cell. So don't start celebrating this yet, Adam. I know he's probably smiling, watching in his office right now. I just saw Max Cutter had a rope break. I didn't see that the first time. I just caught that in the replay. Max Cutter had a rope break. He had his hand in the bottom rope. I think this win should be nullified. This should be reversed immediately. Replay that. What kind of malarkey? I know this referee got hit in the head a few times throughout this match, but that's no excuse. Hogwash, I say. I'm not counting this. I don't care. In my head, this is a whole bunch of BS. Yeah, celebrate your win. I hope you enjoy it. See, my boys would never win a match like that. Underhanded. Pathetic. This is Team Shockwave, huh? Well, despite that complete and utter travesty we just witnessed, I must digress. The show goes on, and it's not over. At least we don't have to worry about any sort of garbage like that happening in the TLC match still to come. But first up next, the Television Championship is what this one's going to be all about. As Rock meet Hard Place, Vanessa Morgan of Pat's LaFaves set to challenge Thea here in Los Angeles for the Television Championship, and undefeated Aussie Brute, who hopes to bring more championship gold to Pat's LaFaves. Alice Blake, obviously later on here at Validation, will defend the Women's World Championship against the Women's Royal Rumble match winner, Ruby Raquel. Well, Vanessa Morgan, who defeated Thea, it doesn't matter how, be it by countout or not, defeated Thea in a non-title match last month, alongside decimating every single other woman that's been put in front of her since arriving here in CMV as the new right hand of Alice Blake. It's up to Thea here in Los Angeles to find a chink in the armor, to be the one to put down this Aussie Brute. And some moral support in the form of Sophia E. Faith, who looks good. That's a small win in and of itself. I don't see any sort of taping, no neck brace, no casts of any kind, and obviously her own bone to pick with Vanessa Morgan, who broke Faith's hand last month, slammed it in the trunk of a car before decimating her one-on-one in the ring. Faith wasn't going to miss out on the chance to see Morgan toppled at last here at Validation. So she'll get herself a front row seat. But will that support from ringside be enough to give Thea the push she'll need to walk out of here still television champion? Thea, who up until a couple of weeks ago was undefeated at one-on-one for over 4 months, is Sarah Miller, who with a little bit of help from Vanessa Morgan ended that streak. The Aussie Brute. I don't see Miller or Blake out here in her corner. They're obviously getting ready for Alice Blake's Women's World Championship events later on tonight. It's not as if Morgan needs the help, though. I mean, let's keep it a buck here. And that's what it's about. The television championship that Thea has held for Or, of course, I don't know exactly how long. Vintage dashing memory. Longest reigning television champion in CMV history, though. Of course, defeated Sophia E. Faith to win it post-Ascendance 13. So here we go. Vanessa Morgan undefeated. And immediately we see Thea with a forearm smash that Morgan just brushes off like it's nothing before chucking Thea through the air. And look, Thea's not a big gal. She is thick, though. Very strong. Muscles. So to throw her through the air like that is no small feat. Very impressive. And look at this. By her hair, Thea just gets whipped out of that corner. And it's not a good start, guys, for our television champion here. Stomp to the gut. And slowly picked up. We better not get comfortable, folks. I don't think this one's going to last all that long. Even with Sophia E. Faith shouting from ringside. Immediately, we're going to put Thea up against the ropes, but I've been wrong many times about Thea. I'm not going to lie to you. I counted her out early on here in CMV. Obviously, she beat that out of me herself. I bought in with the whole pay-per-view situation. I thought she was the culprit. I apologized. I was a man about it. So you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I won't count out Thea here tonight. But obviously, saying that, I mean, you can just watch the first couple minutes of this matchup. You can see how it's going for our television champion. And judge for yourself, but Thea's not going to back down. Champion's advantage, in effect. Which, of course, means Vanessa Morgan has to pin or submit Thea in the ring to win the television championship. Can't do it by countout or disqualification. Not that Thea would want the match to end that way anyhow. Very vocal is Thea about not wanting her matches to end that way. Whether she wins or loses, she wants it to be clean and fair. Able to escape Morgan there, chops her down with a shot to the back of the knee. And the thing about Thea is, her offense can come out of nowhere. We're not just talking about that fireball, that Superwoman punch, the spear as well, and that jumping cut of the fire starter. She can hit that from anywhere. We've seen her hit it, obviously straight up. We've seen her hit it out of the fireman's carry, out of the corner before, off the ropes. Thea's been getting better and better. That's what I love about Thea. Steadily improving. Every time she gets to that ring, she's got something new. She's going to need it. Big sit-out powerbomb by Morgan. Unpinned, unsubmitted here in CMV, just like Alice Blake. Don't look that up. Big forearm smash there. But a quick trip of the leg. And Thea's not going to waste any time because you know why? She can't afford to. The matchbook, haven't seen her hit that in a hot minute. But the only thing hot right now is this matchup heating up. Fire starter! Into the pin. There's no way Thea to retain the television championship. 2.999. You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? But Thea looked back for a second like, okay. And now a half camel clutch is applied. Not for too long. Morgan gets out of it. Big overhand attempted. Thea says, get that shit out of here. The last time these two met one-on-one, Vanessa Morgan was victorious, but by countout. Like I said a moment ago, though, she can't win that way tonight. If she wants to leave as television champion, has to pin or submit Thea. Yeeted! And Morgan saying, okay, wait a minute. Maybe I came into this one a bit too overconfident. And I think she did. And learned the hard way why that was a mistake. Oh, what a headbutt. I hope they got good dental in Australia because Morgan might need to book an appointment. Neck breaker. As Faith watches on intently from ringside, she's going to have to get her own revenge vicariously through Thea here tonight. You see the television champion hyping herself up there in the corner. She's locked in. She's laser focused. That fire is burning, baby. Turn her around in the corner. Double axe handle. Just pummeling Morgan. Repeatedly. Careful, though. Keep that up in the corner. Might get disqualified. Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel like the referee should be telling her to get out of that corner. Whoa, up on the top. Morgan's been busted open. I think that may have woken her up. Grabs Thea, drops her chest first across that top rope. Yeah, I think that just made Vanessa Morgan angry as blood begins to trickle down her face. Thea may have made a mistake. Manhandling the champion, Yokosuka Cutter. I didn't know they made them like this in Australia. Another reason not to go to that country. Gargantuan tarantulas. Kangaroos rolling up on you, looking to pick a fight. And Vanessa Morgan just walking around. There's that power bomb! Just like that! Just like that! And new no! Vanessa Morgan's nose looks to be all busted up. Chokeslam incoming, Thea! With an elbow to the side of the head. Grabs her by the hair. Slams her down face first. That was a little dirty, Thea, I'd say. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Trying to set Vanessa Morgan up. Oh, maybe. Looking for the fire starter again. Maybe not, though, says Vanessa Morgan with a big headbutt to the champ. Taking that leg again. Morgan's been targeting the right leg of Thea throughout this match. Make sure that Thea can't do any of that running, can't set up for the fireball or the spear. Takes away a lot of her offense. Still able to get herself up out of the quarter, though. Shake off. The damage done. And the television champion with Faith cheering her on with the CMV Universe behind her. Off the ropes. Fireball! Just clocked. Just blasted. Vanessa Morgan. And yes, Thea! Look at the power! Look at the power! Like a flapjack fire starter! Isn't it enough? 1, 2, 3, and still! The television champion! Thea has slain the Aussie Brute here at Validation. Well, if you watched the first couple minutes of this matchup, you might have thought it impossible. Morgan was brutalizing Thea. But the fiery Frenchwoman fought back. And it became pretty back and forth the remainder of this matchup. I'll tell you, when Vanessa Morgan hit that powerbomb, I thought for damn sure it was done and dusted. Here it was right here. Hardly anyone has been able to kick out of that powerbomb. But Thea dug down deep. And this, a springboard fireball. Remember I said every Thea match expects something new? And here was classic Thea. Almost broke her neck. Getting Morgan in position for that second fire starter and handing Vanessa Morgan her first defeat. Thea still the television champion. Not a good start to the night for Pat LaFaze. I can only imagine Alice Blake is watching right now from her locker room in a sour mood, witnessing the result of this one. Thea, on the other hand, well, a very good night this could be for the regulators. We'll have to wait and see how things go for Aaron Stone inside Hell in a Cell before we go that far.
Simmons, and this is Twisted Shock Energy Cherry. It has a twist of cherry flavor. This devilish elixir has twist of cherry.
Anna, it's not twist. It's twist of cherry. It's amazing smooth. Be smooth.
Twisted Shock Energy Cherry is amazingly smooth. Trust me, I'm the rock star.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I might need me a couple of those. I should probably have gone and grabbed some before this next matchup begins, because I'm already feeling the effects of this show, and we still got a whole heck of a lot going on here at Validation, including coming up next. It's time to tie things up, or I cry. Our second Shockwave versus Octane matchup of the night. Obviously, things not getting started in a very great way earlier. And that 8-man elimination tag team matchup was a, well, I guess the record book would tell you, a clean sweep for Team Shockwave. I would say baloney to the highest degree. But nonetheless, Shockwave is up 1. And so it's going to be on Remy Martin and the Octane boys to tie things up if they can. Shockwave will officially win the night. Adam Valentine will get his 10 uninterrupted draft picks. Of course, we'll still get the Hell in a Cell match later on, and I can stop him from getting an additional 5. But if Team Octane does not win this match, I'm going to have to put up with a whole hell of a lot, I have a feeling. Adam Valentine won't let me live this down anytime soon. But I've got faith in my team. I don't even have to worry about it. What am I freaking out about? I got Remy Martin, the former Intercontinental Champion. I got Lorenzo Alexander, the Hollywood Highlight, and the undying Jack Taylor, repping Octane in this tables, ladders, and chairs match. So if you think I'm breaking a sweat, you got another thing coming to you. But yes, former Intercontinental Champion, as Remy Martin did lose the championship to Gus DeBell this past Octane. What a main event matchup. My one worry, perhaps, is that, well, Remy Martin, Lorenzo Alexander especially, are not at 100%. They've had well, Jack Taylor too, they've had a hellacious few weeks. War Games, and obviously, this past Octane, we saw Xander Slate jump Lorenzo Alexander before his matchup. He was still, though, see, this is what I'm talking about, able to come back despite that and win his match against Stevie Wizard. And even losing the Intercontinental Championship, Remy Martin, did you see him come out here sulking? Did you see his head hung low? No, you saw a smile on that beautiful face. You saw him ready to get it on here at Validation. Because he knows what an opportunity this is. And obviously, Lorenzo Alexander, with some friends, family in attendance, he's home. The Hollywood Highlight, much like Blake Virtue later on our main event. Definitely a hometown favorite. And he's looking to show out in what might be the biggest match of his CMV career thus far. And if there's any matchup for Lorenzo Alexander to show exactly what he brings to the table, I got a feeling it's going to be a TLC match. But see, this is the thing about my team. They've become brothers through battle together. Their wars waged against the Hallowed on Octane. They've gone to war. War Games a few weeks ago, side by side. A brotherhood forged in fire. And now they bring that to Validation, where they look to tie things up for Octane. And this is undisputedly the biggest match of Jack Taylor's career so far. And this young kid is not fixing to disappoint. But tables, ladders, and chairs, my friends, that means all of those weapons are completely legal to utilize. You can win by climbing a ladder and unhooking the briefcase that hangs above the ring, but you can also win at any time by pin or submission in the ring. Well, much of what I just said about Team Octane, though, you can apply to Team Shockwave here, because Diamante, Tobias Jones, and Mike Magnum Maxwell have very similarly fought side by side these last couple months against their common enemy, Joey Bacon, who they were at last able to vanquish this past Shockwave in that Gauntlet Turmoil match. Of course, Tobias Jones and Diamante were eliminated, but the damage they did allowed Mike Magnum Maxwell to walk out as the new Anarchy champion when the dust finally settled. And Diamante looking to allow his howl to be heard worldwide. Show why he was picked to represent Shockwave here at Validation. This is a kid I definitely see a bright future for. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When the draft happens, I might try to take Diamante. Would he prefer to be walking out here as Anarchy champion himself? Of course. But it was a good day, all things considered, for Diamante. Last episode of Shockwave, and now he looks to make this a great night here in Los Angeles. He and his boys could win it all for Shockwave if they are victorious. Well, around this time last year, guys, Tobias Jones. It was crazy to think about. As I say that, Tobias Jones is the only one in this match who was here a year ago. Everybody else either debuted shortly before or shortly after Ascendance 13. Tobias Jones is the only veteran, technically, in this match, but he's only been around a couple years himself. But yeah, around last year's Validation, he was fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, having consistent bangers with Pink Star. In fact, Validation was their historic 2 out of 3 Falls match, I believe. Am I correct? Any statisticians in the chat? I'm pretty sure that's where they had their Match of the Year candidate. Well, his brother Emmett might not be representing Shockwave here at Validation, but Tobias taking up the Jones family name. As we head into the last month or so of this season, of course, up next, Bloodsport, and the return of the Elimination Chamber match is just around the corner, and then we end things in Sin City, Las Vegas at Final Stand, where we already know the main event will be Shea Hoxton in his final match against the Sin City Savior, Cam Harris. And then we begin a whole new season, a fresh start for all. Tobias Jones blew the roof off the joint last year at Validation. And we'll do the same here tonight. And last, but far from least, the new CMV Anarchy champion, Mike Magnum Maxwell. Like David, was able to slay Goliath with some help from Diamante and Tobias Jones this past Shockwave. And now has championship gold in his possession. I'm looking to make sure he ends the season with that championship still over his shoulder. So tables, ladders, chairs. This one's going to be hard hitting. There's no getting around that. But again, It can end at any time by pin, submission in the ring, or by climbing a ladder and grabbing the contract that hangs above the ring. Will Shockwave end it right here, right now? Or can Octane even things up before we take it to Hell in a Cell later on? So here we go. They're going to go right for it. There's no feeling each other out in a match like this. No collar and elbow tie-up. No little song and dance. You get down, do it. Taylor some punch to the top of Diamante's head. Looks like Tobias Jones wants to step up to Remy Martin. Jack Taylor, though. I think he accidentally knocked Martin off his feet there, rather. Diamante going to send Martin to the corner. This is a matchup that Remy Martin's been pining for, actually. For a minute now to get his hands on Diamante. Of course, one-on-one is what they would prefer, but the chance to do a little dance here tonight as Mike Magna Maxwell with a kick to the back of Lorenzo Alexander as Taylor now gets taken out with a Russian leg sweep. Oh, there you go. One for Remy Martin, too. There you see all around the ringside area, the tables, ladders, and plenty of chairs to be utilized at will by any of these men. Remy Martin, after having such a stellar first 2 months here in CMV, right, going undefeated, capturing the Intercontinental Championship, the past month has not been going well for him, right? He was tapped out by Michael Hawk in that tag team match, and then he was beaten for the first time ever one-on-one by Dustin L. And then again, this past Octane, and the L took his Intercontinental Championship this time. So Remy is desperate, I'm sure, to turn things around and finally get back to his winning ways. Never a better time to do it, Remy. Tie things up, come on. Diamante, woo! Lighting up Jack Taylor there. Right, that chop out of the corner. Now here's a one-on-one match I would pay to see. Remy Martin, Mike Magna Maxwell one-on-one. You don't have to convince me. Oh, Tobias Jones has got himself a table and sets it up. Looks like he's got eyes to put Alexander through potentially. Oh, knocked over though. Diamante with a knee drop attempt. Taylor able to get out of the way. Just in the nick of time, gotta be careful. Jack up your knees. Not gonna be able to climb one of those ladders, but again, this match can be won by pin or submission in the ring as well. Oh man! Lorenzo Alexander avoids getting his head squashed off that table. Maxwell, meanwhile, might be pulling some splinters out of his face later on tonight. But it could be much worse, though. Shining Wizard by Martin, pulled into a short-arm clothesline, very Andrew Briggs-esque. As now Alexander sets up the table, and Tobias Jones, little miscommunication there, accidental connection. When it happened in a matchup like this, really can't be avoided. What? Jack Taylor may have just killed himself with that shooting star press to the outside. That was so wild when you see you, brother. A lot of pollen in the air here in Los Angeles. Remy, I gotta blow my nose up while you hear that. I'm allergic to that bullshit we saw go down in the Elimination Tag Team matchup earlier, that's all. Lorenzo Alexander with a gorgeous springboard shooting star press of his own, showing Jack Taylor. Anything you can do, I can do too, my friend. We got a lot of tables in play right now. 3 of them I can see. Tobias Jones sets that one up again. Diamante is alone. Oh. Goes to the pin. One, no referee. Actually in the ring. I couldn't convince any of them to have the balls. Oh wait, Remy Martin with a German suplex. Mike Magna Max is just gonna watch. Much like on Shockwave, Diamante has to sacrifice himself in order for Maxwell to get the upper hand, huh? Some friend, I say. Pop-up punch. Martin, a quick escape, gets right back in. Now we got scraps of table all over the place. And it might have even more, because Lorenzo Alexander has just set up another table on Tobias Jones, going to knock it over as he gets thrown back into the ring by Jack Taylor, though. Diamante, another table. Martin coming for him. Diamante might get put through a second table. DDT, and that busted open the new Anarchy champion. Then he's got a big corkscrew. Shooting star press. And Jack Taylor's pin doesn't get the job done. Alexander going to try to pin Mike Magna Maxwell here. Oh no, Tobias Jones gets caught. All caught up with that octopus stretch. Tobias Jones trying to pick up the slack here as Remy, the table man in this matchup. Diamante gets rolled up, gonna try for the steal. Here's the Hollywood highlight potentially. Diamante says not about to be punked out like that though. Edge says he does take him for a ride. Just get bodies every which way, getting tossed all over. Damn, Alexander throwing some heads. Said, I'm no one-trick pony. Oh no, I thought Tobias wanted to put himself through the table there for a second. Stun set strip. He took out Jack Taylor, but blindsided. Hit him, Zoe, what are you doing? Extra on it. A little bit more sauce. As the Hollywood highlight kick out just at 2. Another ladder now, throws it. That's the way to use a ladder. I don't know if that's the way. I've never seen a ladder used before. Lorenzo Alexander! No, Tobias Jones refuses to get put through that table there. And instead, might be time for a drink! On the run! No, Jack! That may have been worse! Jack Taylor trying to help, but that may have actually been a 10 times worse. Corkscrew neck breaker! And into the pin for Team Shockwave, but Remy Martin's there to break it up immediately. Backbreaker into the neckbreaker. As Taylor, we haven't had a chair used. A lot of tables, good amount of ladders. Nobody's actually gone for a chair yet. Jack Taylor, show him how it's done, kid. That's a butterfly pile driver. No, Tobias Jones. Counters on the rocks into a Hurricane Rana. Like Team Shockwave's got the upper hand right now. DDT to Remy Martin on the floor. The STF! The STF! The STF's locked in! Don't you do it, Zoe. Don't you tap out, you son of a bitch. Don't you even think about it. That's what I'm talking about. Remy Martin, stun set strip. Remy plays defense with a jumping cutter to Tobias. Somebody pin someone for crying out loud. Another stun set strip into the pin. Remy's on defense. And Team Octane, baby, ties things up. Big Zoe, in front of his friends and family, picks up the big dub. Great teamwork by my boys there in the end. Lorenzo Alexander said, I got to give this guy Maxwell here a couple stunt set strips to go home with. While Remy Martin played that expert level defense. This one was just madness from bell to bell though. Here it was. Tobias Jones tried to come in and help, but he got taken out by Remy Morton. Well, right here, we see the second sunset strip. 2 in a row to take out the new Anarchy champion. Jack Taylor, meanwhile, kept Diamante too busy at ringside, and it's all tied up now as we take it to Hell in a Cell later on. You thought it was over? Go home and cry about it. This is Team Octane, buddy. Think twice. Well, our ringside crew given a couple minutes there to clean up the plethora of cable straps all in the ring after that TLC matchup. It's tied up, baby! And the tie will be broken later on inside Hell in a Cell. But before we get to that, up next, the Women's World Championship is going to be on the line as the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match at Mob Violence, Ruby Raquel, attempts to get back the championship that she never lost. 29 women took their best shot at Mob Violence, but Ruby Raquel was the one left standing tall to finally earn her rematch for the Women's World Championship. And yes, it was, God, over 2 years ago now that Ruby Raquel was forced to vacate the Women's World Championship after being attacked in the locker room and never received a rematch when she returned. She's been a part of Women's World Championship matchups over the last couple years, but never one-on-one. She had to bust her ass to finally get back to this position, and now just a step away, but unfortunately, it's a big step. Because the longest reigning champion in CMV history, the most defending champion in CMV history, the unmatched Women's World Champion, Alice Blake, is standing in her way. And although things didn't get started on the right foot for Past LaFaves earlier tonight, with Vanessa Morgan failing to capture the television championship against Thea, Alice Blake, as she always does, gonna pick up that slack and put it on her back, which has been carrying this whole damn company for almost a year. 355 days as Women's World Champion, and if she retains tonight, Alice Blake will make it to a full year as Women's World Champion. If Ruby Raquel has the chance to do the nastiest thing ever, and just 10 days before a year, take the Women's World Championship from the kick connoisseur. Truly, it would be tragic. But that's a big if. And Sapphire Stevenson in the corner of Ruby Rattel. We would be seeing Alexia Diamond out here, I'm sure, as well, but she was taken out a couple weeks ago by Vanessa Morgan, I'm sure at the behest of Alice Blake, always playing mind games, always trying to get under the skin of her opponents, always attempting to make sure she walks into her matchups with the upper hand. And I said it this past Shockwave, guys, and I don't say this lightly, I think Alice Blake is worried that this might be the end of her reign as Women's World Champion. I think Ruby Rattel might be her toughest challenge yet, and I think that Alice Blake knows that. But now it's do or die time. Ruby Rattel, Alice Blake for the Women's World Championship here at Validation. Will Alice Blake make it to 1 full year, or will Ruby Rattel bring it all crashing down at the finish line? We're going to see him. Clean break here out of the corner. No, Ruby Rattel takes the cheap shot. And I'm sure that Alice Blake would have herself if she got to it first. So I'm not exactly going to feel too bad for Blake in that instance. As Alice Blake's significant other, Aaron Stone, prepares to enter Hell in a Cell later on, you can be sure that he's watching from his locker room right now, cheering on the Women's World Champion, Sapphire Stevenson in the corner of Rattel. And as always, Sarah Miller in the corner of Alice Blake. Still to come though, guys. It's going to be a street fight here in Los Angeles as Danielle Davis and Brina Story finally get their hands on each other. And of course our main event as well. It's the men's Royal Rumble match winner, Schmidty, challenging the hometown hero, the CMV champion Blake Virtue. And I guess this will sort of set the tone perhaps for Schmidty if Ruby Rattel, the women's Royal Rumble match winner, can defeat Alice Blake. Great back and forth. Blake's got a sort of hold on Rattel's arm right now with the shaker loose. Tries for a super kick DDT from the champion. As now we see Blake attempt to roll Rattel up. See, this is what I'm talking about. But Rattel counters. Now she's got Blake rolled up and a kick out before one. See, when have you ever seen Alice Blake try to end a match that early after not hitting a big move of hers? I'm saying, man, Alice Blake is worried. That's the thing about building such a legacy, about becoming so seemingly indestructible, being at the top for so long. You might start to, feel that way yourself. Like you can't be touched. Like you cannot be beaten. And then someone comes along who kind of shakes your foundation a bit, makes you say, hang on, I am just human. And I think that's what's happening here. Well, Blake's certainly not looking to win this one by a count out. Champion's advantage, though, is in effect. Ruby Rattel has to pin or submit Blake in the ring to become Women's World Champion. A second time, the championship that she never lost. 1.5 there. Blake seems a little bit upset about it. It almost seems like a foreign concept, man, to say that. Oh, wait a minute. Alice Blake with an inverted crunchy. That would make Sunshine proud to retain the Women's World Championship and a kick out at 2. Blake is not trying to waste any time. Jetstream attempted, gets countered, and a scissors pin. Imagine the steal. The heist of the century that would be. I was going to say that it almost seems like a foreign concept. Someone reigning as champion for a year. It's never been done here in CMV. That's just how damn good Alice Blake is. What a super kick from Rattel. Caught her on the rebound, but a kick out at 1, and Sapphire is sweating over there. Pulls her up to her feet, back elbow, big punch in the gut, kicks the midsection. Good old-fashioned DDT, nothing flashy. As we see Rattel try to go to the corner, but Sarah Miller, always to the rescue of Alice Blake, causes a distraction. And the champion takes back control, drops Rattel on her neck with that dragon suplex, but still able to only get a 1 count. Pulled up to her feet. Oh, my friends, I can tell you this much, one way or the other, no matter who leaves Validation, as the Women's World Champion. They will get to sit back and watch at Bloodsport as a #1 contenders match will take place inside of the Elimination Chamber to determine who will get the final Women's World Championship opportunity of the season at Final Stand, which of course is the event last year where Alice Blake won the Women's World Championship, defeating Celestia and Sarah Miller to become the champion. Ruby Rattel going to try to get out onto the apron. Play it safe here, but Alice Blake looks to keep on the attack. Forearm smash, going to back her up. Beautiful kick right to the chest. Certainly caught Blake off guard. She gets back to her feet quickly. Ruby Rattel not quick enough there. Big ending for the Women's Royal Rumble match winner, an accolade that nobody can take away from Ruby Rattel. But it will pair a comparison if she can walk out of Los Angeles, the new Women's World Champion. Sharpening the edges, a somersault cutter. Gonna go for the pin. How about a stop into oblivion? 1, 2, but a kick out. And did we just see Ruby Rattel's biggest, best shot fail right there? Alice Blake is hurt though. She's been busted open. Her nose has been busted, could be broken. Unsurprisingly after that stomp. Rattel, like a great white shark in the water, man, smells that blood and gotta go in for the kill. You can't hold it against Rattel. Big knee to the gut, and a new kick connoisseur in town, perhaps. As Rattel goes to the corner, no interference from Sarah Miller at ringside this time. Axe kicked! Blake's down into the pin! I'm gonna hold my breath! Kick out! Alice Blake digs down deep, but Rattel's not letting her go anywhere. Leg drop after giving the neck a little twist. Guys, when's the last time we saw Alice Blake in a position like this? Blow on the knuckles. Little Maggie Shaw shout out, perhaps? Someone else who never got their rightful one-on-one rematch. Maggie Shaw probably watching right now. I'm sure we know what side she's on. Blake up onto the apron. Gonna try to cut Rattel off. Goes to the top. Walks the top rope, drop kick to Rattel, and right over the shoulder of Sapphire Stevenson, we get just a 1 count. The Women's World Champion gotta be panicking. Judge Stream! But that panic might pay off, that desperation. 1, 2. Alice Blake brought out the big guns. And Ruby Rattel still kicked out. Up against the ropes, Alice Blake got to rethink her strategy and starts to get a little too desperate. Watch the referees count. A damn travesty it would be to see this one end in a disqualification. Rattel fights to her feet. What spirit, what drive. Will not quit. Ruby Rattel has waited over 2 years for this. Over 2 years! Stop! At the finish line! Ruby Rattel is the new Women's World Champion! I'm speechless. I'm trying to come up with the words. 10 days away. 10 days, a week and change from a full year as Women's World Champion. And Ruby Rattel swoops in with a stomp heard around the world. 355 days, the most dominant champion in CMV history has been put down by Ruby Rattel. I felt the part of my soul leave my body when the ref's hand hit the canvas for 3. I can't believe this! Am I dreaming? I might need someone to come pitch me real quick. Ruby Rattel can't believe it. Is this real life? Over 2 years she waited, stripped of the championship, never given a proper rematch. But Ruby Rattel was not going to let this opportunity slip through her fingers. We have a new women's world champion. I didn't think I'd ever say that again. I feel like my life's been changed. My worldview's been shattered. I don't know what to do. I needed a couple of minutes there for real. I had a quick cry, but I picked myself up, I dusted myself off because there is still more to go here at Validation, my friends. Our tertiary main event. How do we carry on after that, though? How do we just go on like life has any meaning without Alice Blake as our women's world champion? I just realized that next time we see Alice Blake will be the first time ever in CMV she's been without a championship. It's gonna feel wrong. I gotta say congratulations to Ruby Rattel, but I just don't know what to do. Well, I gotta be professional because this matchup has some very serious implications itself. The tiebreaker here at Validation to decide which show gets bragging rights, and not to mention those 10 uninterrupted draft picks in the upcoming return of the CMV draft. Team Shockwave had the clean sweep in the 8-man elimination tag team matchup earlier, but then Team Octane took the win for themselves in the TLC match. So now it comes down to this. Inside Hell in a Cell, the new Rite of Passage champion, my main man Ahmed, the team captain, who has experience inside this dreaded structure. He won an Armageddon Hell in a Cell match earlier this season to earn an Anarchy Championship opportunity. So he's no stranger being crammed into a cell with multiple other men. And it's safe to say, I said earlier that Kai Victory may have had the best season, period. Alice Blake up there too, despite what we just saw. Oh, my heart. But Ahmed, especially with the last few months. He's got to be up there too. Look at this last month alone. Won an ambulance match against Tops Newsome. And then became the new Rite of Passage champion. This past Octane, despite the best effort of obviously the defending champion Ben Stacy and Aaron Stone of Team Shockwave interfering in the matchup. But if you want to talk about biggest surprises of this season, I don't think there's one bigger than Josh Wolf's return in the men's Royal Rumble match at Mob Violence. Over a year he was away from CMV, but now he's come back and happy to represent Team Octane inside Hell in a Cell. This is a man I talked about this past Octane who thrives on anarchy. He's been in some of the most brutal matches in CMV history. He's bled for this company on more than one occasion. He's probably given years of his life for this company. So to step inside Hell in a Cell is something Josh Wolf is happy to do. And finally for Team Octane, look, if you're building a team, you want somebody who literally cannot die. Look at everything Ahmed did to Tops Newsome this past month, and this old man continued to get up again and again. That includes getting thrown into the back of an ambulance. And that's what at last earned Tops Newsome the respect of Ahmed. When he kicked those ambulance doors open, Ahmed couldn't help but to laugh and shake Top's hand, offer him a spot on Team Octane. And Tops Newsome might just be the foremost expert when it comes to a Hell in a Cell match, especially falling off of them. The former unmatched world champion completes Team Octane here inside Hell in a Cell. How can you win against a man who cannot be killed? Who's been to hell and come back time and again? Well, as he prepares to face Shea Hoxton in his hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada at Final Stand, I guess that's only if Cam Harris makes it out of here alive. The Sin City Savior enters Hell in a Cell for what I believe is the very first time ever in his career. But what an upward trajectory it has been for Cam Harris these last few months. Post-Ascendance 13, this man struck out on his own. He dropped the dead weight, Troy Colt and Blake Virtue. He got with a couple of fellas and the Charm City Kings, and the second Ascent has been putting boots to asses on Shockwave. I won't lie to you. Now Cam Harris looks to prove his worth once again. Even a bit hesitant. Fair enough. Well, they say when a man is desperate, he becomes most dangerous, and I'd say that's the case for Aaron Stone, who has, unlike Cam Harris, I was just talking about, had a not great few months here in CMV, and now he just watched the love of his life, Alice Blake, lose her Women's World Championship a moment ago. He's got to come out here and enter Hell in a Cell. But what a way to turn things around. He did beat Emma Jones to qualify for Team Shockwave, but that was a fluke. I mean, I think Aaron Stone would even tell you that himself. A little bit of help from Sophia E. Faith got that done. It's been a great season overall for Aaron Stone. He wants to end it great. He's back as the leader of the Regulators. It's time to lead by example. And finally, if we're talking about great seasons, certainly up at the top of that list is the Ogre and team captain for Shockwave, the former CMV champion, Morgan. Much like Alice Blake, we never thought he was going to lose that CMV championship, but that had to come to an end. Just as Alice Blake, Traders Women's World Champion, did in the last match. Now Morgan leads Shockwave into battle inside Hell in a Cell, where he had one of his greatest matches ever against George King, Thy Kingdom Come. So certainly familiar with this hellish structure is Morgan. And Morgan hopes to end this season as CMV champion a third time. Nothing else on his mind. So Hell in a Cell, the setting for our tiebreaker. Which show is going to get those bragging rights? And most importantly, those 10 uninterrupted draft picks in the return of the CMV draft next week. Team Shockwave, thanks in large part to Alan Wagner, got the clean sweep of the 8-man elimination tag team match. But Jack Taylor, Lorenzo Alexander, and Randy Orton took it back in TLC. Now inside the Devil's Domain. Which team will stand tall? Octane with a power bomb. Getting his get back. Aaron Stone getting involved in his match this past Octane. And a sit-out power bomb. To Cam Harris. Doesn't take long for these guys to venture ringside. Now, even though they're locked inside Hell in a Cell right now, as we've seen plenty of times in the past, that doesn't mean they're going to stay inside the cell. Just look back to that Armageddon Hell in a Cell match earlier this season I was talking about before that Ahmed won. Where they broke down the wall, like every single wall they broke down, climbed to the top of it, or falling through it, falling off of it. Tops Newsom said, damn, I wish I was there. Aaron Stone thrown to the side of the steel steps by Tops Newsom, was taking him for a walk all around the ring here. While Cam Harris gets his head taken off by the new Rite of Passage champion. Big punch to the gut. There's Josh Wolf in now. And from behind, Morgan able to land it though. As he spins around Josh Wolf. Counter for counter. Obviously Morgan very familiar with Josh Wolf's good friend Peligro of Killing Your Heroes. I don't know that Morgan and Josh Wolf ever had a one-on-one matchup. It doesn't come into mind, but of course there's that vintage dashing memory. Aaron Stone wants to get involved in the alleyway brawl at ringside. Not a lot of room to move out there. And this match is not elimination. It ends at any time by pin or submission in the ring. Obviously no countouts, no disqualifications. Shinbreaker back suplex combo by the Puppet Master. Ahmed going for a weapon, pulls out a table. I guess he's not had enough tables tonight. And we're seeing the team captains go at it now. This past Shockwave, Ahmed tapping Morgan out. in the middle of the ring. Say what you will about the interferences, right? About 20,000 people ran in. Fair enough. But we saw Morgan tap out for the Cairo clutch, middle of the ring. You can't take that away from Ahmed. What the hell is Aaron Stone doing here to Josh Wolf? Neck breaker, I think, or back breaker, can't really tell. That table's been set up, though, as Aaron Stone and his blue tights. You see that man from a mile away. Lifting up is Ahmed. The power of the protein-packed powerhouse. My absolute favorite, Aaron Stone. Cam Harris. We're going to put the team captain through a table. Flapjack through the pine and into the pin. Is Cam Harris going to take it for Shockwave? Kick out by the Rite of Passage champion. Man, Aaron Stone and Morgan here just sandwiching Josh Wolf and battering him back and forth. Tops Newsom rocked. And he fights back against the Ogre. He just got everybody at ringside right now. Not for long. There's Morgan back into the ring. Josh Wolf right behind him. Aaron Stone, too, and Tops Newsom. DDT, that's vintage Aaron Stone, but Ahmed intervenes with the power slam out of the military press. Now that is my protein-packed powerhouse. That's my absolute favorite, absolute Ahmed. Pretty muscle boy. Top to bottom by the Puppet Master. As Josh Wolf mounts Cam Harris, big open palm strikes for the Sin City Savior. Newsom maybe looking to tug on those strings with the mind virus. Snare attempted by Stone, but Newsom, even at his old age, able to leap over him to counter it. Oh, look at Tops Newsom. Cairo clutch! Cam Harris gets taken down! All alone! Aaron Stone and Morgan taken out! Cairo clutch, but does not tap. What the hell is Tops Newsom doing? This old man really does have a death wish. What is he doing? Ahmed tries for the pin, but Aaron Stone's back in to make the save. Josh Wolf now looking to hit the jackpot. Into the pin for Team Octane. As Tops Newsom takes out Harris with a pile driver. Ahmed, European uppercut. Oh, there's Cam Harris dropped down in front of him. Newsom lies in wait. Gotta hold that arm. Uh-oh. We've seen this before from Tops Newsom. He gets into his zone. There's the first hammerlock DDT, which busted Aaron Stone open. Just one? Just one DDT? That's not the Tops Newsom I know. Imposter. But he is going to take it old school. Aaron Stone busted open. And there it is. The virus. That claw digging into the open wound too. But Aaron Stone fights out of it with blood streaming down his face. And drops Newsom chest first across that top rope while Cam Harris and Josh Wolf batter each other. Wheelbarrow face buster to Tops. I suppose Morgan trying to do to Ahmed here. Fastball! Clocked him! Newsom caught it! He's not a fan of baseball. Picked up though. And overhead with that last call. Bloody Brit be damned last call. He's never heard of it. We have just got bodies everywhere. I don't know what to pay attention to. Of course, the match can only end by pin or submission in the ring. So I guess Tops Newsom and Aaron Stone is where our attention should primarily be right here. And Newsom comes out of the corner. Here comes Morgan, though. Morgan is the team captain to save the day, but he gets caught. Take it up. And it's time to walk the edge. Crucifix, no. Morgan gets out of it. Inside that Kingdom Come. Royal flush. But Ahmed saving the day. As we see Aaron Stone trying to choke Ahmed out. Morgan just pummeling Tops Newsom. While Cam Harris and Josh Wolf are still just having a good old-fashioned fist fight around the ring for like the last 5 minutes. Tops Newsom, top to bottom! Is Newsom gonna do it? Newsom kick out at 2. Wow! Ahmed just slammed Aaron Stone to the cell wall! The inmates have broken free! Shusher! Kick out at 1. Ahmed's climbing! Ahmed's climbing the cell! And Aaron Stone's chasing after him. These madmen, these lunatics, doing battle on the side of the cell wall. Talk about your duel of fate. Aaron Stone says, fuck this. He says, I'm not trying to die tonight. Meanwhile, in the ring, Tops Newsom has still got the better of Morgan. Throws him to the outside. Aaron Stone's going to rejoin the fight in the ring, actually inside the cell. Newsom going to hit Cam Harris with his own jackpot, but he doesn't see Stone from behind. Oh, it just broken the old man's spine. Where's Morgan going? Morgan's climbing. Well, he thought about it. He says, never mind. The team captain's going to fight outside the cell now. Cam Harris says, that looks like fun. I might come and join you. Oh, thrown right with a steel barricade, though. Not falls count anywhere. This match can only end by pin or submission in the ring. Morgan just wants to destroy Ahmed here, though. Another table! Josh Wolf has slid another table into the ring. Morgan with a big right hook. And a headbutt attempt. I think Ahmed able to counter it, though. I can't even see what's going on. The camera's been pulled back so far. The camera operator, give me a break here. I don't have very good eyes, you know. They're just throwing each other all over the place. Aaron Stone, I think, is going to come help Morgan. There's Tops Newsom, too. Well, now Ahmed finds himself between a rock and a hard place. This threw Aaron Stone into him, and they're going to climb again. Well, they actually make it to the top this time. Yes, they're going all the way to the top. This is scary now. Ahmed said, you know what? I'm going to let Tops Newsom take this one. He's the one that can't be killed. He's the one that's undying. And Tops, but then more. It's a good idea. I don't blame them. Oh, no, they're going back up again. Now everybody. They're like, I'll only jump off this bridge if you jump off this bridge. Everybody is climbing to the top now. Everybody. Cam Harris is like, nope. He's the smartest man in this match. Cam Harris, the scholar. He says, you guys got that. That's all you. But now on top of the cell, Ahmed and Tops Newsom, they're leaving. Well, this match can only be won in the ring. I don't even see the point in fighting up there. Aaron Stone's having himself a good time, though. Looks like he's waiting for Ahmed. But Ahmed's climbing back down. What the hell? Aaron Stone just almost fell. Now they're climbing back up again. They can't decide what they want to do here. Do I want to shorten my career? Do I... What the fuck was that? Did you guys see that? Did that show up on the stream? What the hell was that? The screen just like flashed and went to like black for a second. Like faded to black. What the hell was that? They're trying to get ready to take the show off the air in case we have a live murder. A death. Everybody's on top of the cell now. All 6 competitors are now on top of the Hell in a Cell. This is insane. I can't even see what's going on because of the lighting rig. I can see Josh Wolf over there. Who's he stalking? Morgan. The roof of these cells historically aren't made of the best material. They're a little bit flimsy. All of this weight. Ahmed gonna save Josh Wolf. Oh no. Oh no. Ahmed! Powerball! It's giving! It's giving! The steel is dipping! It's giving chaos! It's giving anarchy! DDT! Wow! Tom Harris! Through the roof of the cell! He's dead! And these bloodthirsty psychopath fans are chanting, this is awesome! Go pin him, Tops! Go pin him! Tops! Tops! Yes! Pin him, Tops! Pin him, Tops! One! No! Too long! But now he's got a chair. The Puppet Master has a chair. How is Cam Harris not deceased? Shay Hawks is watching like, damn, my final opponent might no longer be of the living by the end of the night. Might have to find a new one. And he's gonna tug on the strings! Mind control! Cam Harris with no help coming his way! He doesn't give up though, he doesn't quit, he does not tap. And Tops Newsome tries to come up from behind. Cam Harris instead, Super King rejected. Headbutt! I don't even know what's going on top of the cell. I'm so focused on in the ring. Newsome has Harris up. Canadian. No! Aaron Stone! Rest in peace, you beautiful muscle pretty boy. You were so young. Newsome in the ring. Falcon Arrow. And Tops Newsome for Team Octane. But Harris with what's gotta be. What is Aaron Stone doing? What is this lunatic? Cam Harris! Newsome counters the flapjack! How is Aaron Stone not paralyzed? He's climbing back up out of the cell! You gotta be joking with me! Aaron Stone wants to die! Aaron Stone seeks death here at Validation. Ahmed with another powerbomb to Morgan. I don't think anyone's leaving this match without a few years shaved off their careers. Harris! Harris knocks out Tops. Ahmed is going to make it. Tops Newsome kicks out. Josh Wolf just dropped himself through the cell roof, and now Cam Harris is outnumbered, but catches Wolf. Jackpot! Here comes Morgan to even the odds. And Ahmed too. Slowly but surely, everyone back in. Destino! Aaron Stone who looks as though he just walked out of the morgue. Stalking Ahmed. Spear! From out of the corner. And Ahmed hit with a Destino. A spear. But Morgan just hit Aaron Stone. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Toss was just trying to light Cam Harris on fire, I think. There was a spark, but it didn't light. And I'm gonna sneeze again. Cam Harris! Bro, this match is gonna give me a panic attack. I can't breathe and I'm not participating in the match, man. Top to bottom! Through the table! But Newsom, I guess. Oh, thanks, Josh. Now let's bust the final spot. Cam Harris breaks up the pin. It is a testament in and of itself that any one of these 6 guys can still walk. That they're still breathing. And Cam Harris, with all that's left, Destino! For Team Shockwave, but Ahmed, the Destroyer, with a boot down the throat of the Sin City Savior, and now it's time to break his back, to make him humble. For Team Shockwave, for Adam Valentine to kiss my ass, Pyro Clutch, but Aaron Stone. Make sure it isn't over yet. Top Susan makes him pay as Ahmed uses the steel chair to hammer in the final nails. 1, 2. Bruh. Oh, great. Now we got Observer Bread being a part of the match. That's just what we needed. Why can't they ever just leave him alone? Pile driver almost on the steel chair. Couple of inches to the left there. Oh, I guess Tom Susan just feels like handing it out. And another middle of the ring. Pyro clutch. And the cell wall is broken down as Cam Harris has no choice but to squeak out, I submit. And Team Octane is victorious here at Validation. I got nothing left. I have nothing left after that match. Imagine how these 6 men must feel right now, brother. That was one of the most insane matches, I think we can comfortably say, in a hot minute here in CMV. My God, look at Tom Newsom trying to set Cam Harris on fire. What would have happened if the spark did ignite? Look at Aaron Stone, bro. But Cam Harris, resilient to the bitter end, man. But the Cairo clutch does him in. Ahmed leads Octane to victory. Adam, feel free. Look, no rush. Whenever you get the time, kiss my snakeskin boots. Team Octane, baby. Well, my friend, I can't even speak. Hang on. I need to get some of that hard W right here. Good God. I was going to say, if somehow tonight has not been barbaric enough for you, then my friends, we've got you covered. Because coming up next, it is our co-main event here at Validation, and it's a street fight as Danielle Davis in her Balenciaga never made street fighting look so good. This one is going to be anything but pretty when Danielle Davis and Brina Story finally get their hands on each other right here tonight. Of course, our main event up next, the men's Royal Rumble match winner Schmidty challenging Blake Virtue for the CMV Championship. But revenge is what's on the mind of Brina Story here in Los Angeles. Her opportunity to be crowned Queen of the Ring snatched away from her back in London, England, when she was brutally attacked by that mystery assailant in the pink hoodie, who it turns out all along was Danielle Davis, exposed after attack in Australia by Thea. Brina Story returning in the Women's Royal Rumble match at Mob Violence from injury. And I think didn't have her eyes on the prize, too fixated on getting payback against Danielle Davis, and that allowed Davis to end up eliminating her. Well, now that's what this match is all about, because the prize is Davis's head on a silver platter. Brina Story feels like she cannot advance in her career here in CMV until she's able to put Danielle Davis down. And these two not dressed for an instant mat classic, as you can see, but for a street fight, which of course means there are no countouts, there are no disqualifications. Anything goes and falls count anywhere. This could spill out into the streets of Los Angeles, but please no, we're still dealing with all the lawsuits after attack in Australia, okay? We really don't need another Shea Hoxton Schmidty situation. It's a good start early on for Danielle Davis, who's been playing the trickster in these last couple of weeks. First disguising herself as B. Barrett to get the jump on Brina Story, rammed her head through a glass window. And then, of course, this past episode of Shockwave, we saw Brina Story track Danielle Davis down to I still don't even know where the hell she was, an abandoned warehouse of some sort, but it was a decoy, a double. But Brina Story this time had her wits about her and was able to fight back, get control, and Danielle Davis made off like a thief in the night before Story could really truly get her pound of flesh. I'll tell you what, the opening moments of this matchup are not going well for Story at all. And you can imagine Brina Story has rented out a good section of her headspace to Danielle Davis these last couple of months. You know, Davis been sitting pretty up there. Nice high rise. I don't think she's looking to move out anytime soon either. The former women's tag team champion dropped face first on the apron. Oh my God! And Brina Story is... What the hell? Is that what busted her open? I didn't even see... Did she get busted open earlier? Or was it that snake eyes? Holy shit! Brina is leaking! Got blood everywhere! Well, that's why they call it the hardest part of the ring. We've made it a little bit of a meme over these last few years here in CMV, but that truly is the hardest part of the ring. And for a good reason, man. Brina looking like she's coming out of a scene in a Quentin Tarantino movie here. But Danielle Davis going to get her Balenciaga covered in Brina Story's blood. Oh, Brina's going digging for a steel chair, the age-old equalizer. And Danielle Davis sees it coming, tries to blast it with that forearm smash, but instead just dropped with a Samoan drop it right into the pin. Brina Story Hook in the leg, but only getting a 1 count. Who knows what would have happened in London, England, had Danielle Davis not assaulted Brina Story in the parking lot? Would Story have become queen of the ring? Would she be women's world champion right now? We'll never know, thanks to what Davis did, as Brina drops her face first on the floor, off that double underhook into the pin with a kick out at 2 by our queen of the ring, who I'm sure took a sick satisfaction in seeing Alice Blake lose the Women's World Championship earlier tonight. But it's Brina Story who's looking for some satisfaction. Straight jacket DDT on the floor into the pin. Brina Story, but a millisecond away from earning her revenge. But she is just leaving blood everywhere. I know this is a street fight. This is to be expected, but the referee might have to stop this one. The amount of blood that Brina's losing so early on. I mean, this match has not been going on even 5 minutes, and Brina Story is literally bleeding all over the place. Oh, and gets caught. Tanahashi clothesline and a drop kick to the side of the head by our wicked queen of the ring, who's going for that steel chair. Danielle Davis looking to spill out the brains of Brina Story all over the canvas. Again and again to the face of the steel chair, and then a back elbow as soon as she gets to her feet. Put down emphatically. Danielle Davis is the queen, and trying to put this peasant beneath her boot tonight with a moonsault out of the corner. Nobody does it better. Knife edge chop, soul kicked. What a combo by Danielle Davis. We see Story desperately try and pick herself up. Davis has the steel chair again. Whacking Brina right across the face with it. But Brina with the boots to the midsection gets herself up. Gonna close that distance, kicks the chair out of her hand. Blocked though by Davis, who now with a kick to the midsection. Gonna try for a power bomb. Oh, backbreaker. And Davis sees her opening. Perhaps Brina Story should have stayed in that hospital bed. No! Going for the D-Day! But instead, brains! On the beltway! Brina Story, though, I don't know why she's worried about a rope break. This is a street fight. May have just wasted too much time. Maybe not. Yeah. I think Brina's lost so much blood she forgot that this is a street fight and that rope breaks are not in effect there, which may have just cost her this match. Oh, is that a light tube? Light tube! Danielle Davis just had a light tube shouted over her head. Oh, and then thrown right into the side of the steel steps, now going to the top. What the hell is going through Brina Story's head right now? Drop kicked! Well, there's blood in her eyes, all down her face. Look at shards of light tube just rolling all over the place. Yeah, that's not a health hazard, I'm sure. As we get back into the ring, Brina Story gonna take to the air for a drop kick, another one right to the face of our queen of the ring, who now she is the one picking herself up in the corner, trying to catch her breath, but Story unrelenting, full steam ahead. Oh, counter, no, caught face first. Right into that middle turnbuckle. Brina's got the chair, and it's time to go to work. All the months laid up in that hospital bed. All that anger boiling over. Brina Story with a standing corkscrew moonsault to put the final exclamation point. No, Danielle Davis. You can say what you will about our queen, but she is not one to be easily put down. Brina Story goes in, brains on the beltway, attempted a second time, but Davis reverses with a kick to the jaw, and now jabber jawing. And she rams Brina right upside the head with that hip attack into the pin. One. Just a 1 count, though. Brina hoping for any sort of help to get back to her feet. Oh, this is vintage Danielle Davis. Boom! And stay down. 1, 2. Brina is covered in her own blood. I don't know how the hell she just kicked out. Guys, I gotta say again. Whoa! She's seeing double. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing at that. Brina's Story threw out the Hail Mary, and boy, did it backfire. Now look, Davis doesn't give a damn. Repeated stomps to the chest, just loving every second of it. And now she's on the hunt. Low KO! In a pool of her own blood. 1, 2. Unbelievable. At what point does the referee have to step in and stop this, though? I know we don't want it to end that way, I know. But it's about Brina's future, guys. It's about her health. She's not going to quit. She's not going to surrender. I mean, look at this. There's more blood out here than I think I've ever seen before, and it's all Brina's. Powerbomb again is attempted this time. Brina's Story able to see it coming, well scouted, but so fast is Danielle Davis. I mean, it's like Davis is out here beating a corpse. She went to the local morgue, she brought out a corpse, dragged it out here into the middle of the ring, and it's just beating it in front of the world. But this corpse, it ain't cold yet. It's fighting back. Big chop to the chest, and Brina's Story with a boot. Davis is seeing stars. Brina's Story seeing red. Unloading on the queen of the ring, freeze and shatter. Perfect positioning for the monumental moonsault and revenge. 1, 2, 3 belongs to Brina's Story. I thought this one was over 5 minutes into the match. Danielle Davis cut open Brina's Story. I think it was off that snake eyes onto the apron, and she just started flowing like a river. This has got to be the bloodiest match. I think it's safe to say this season, maybe. I can't think of one bloodier. But despite losing a good portion of the blood in her body, Brina's Story driven by a hunger for payback. And it now belongs to her, but man, what a fight this was. Danielle Davis gave her best shots. I thought it was over after that forearm. But the monumental moonsault seals the deal, and Brina's Story can finally move on with her life. What a warrior. I hope that Brina's not too attached to these clothes she's wearing, though, because I don't know if all that blood's going to come out in the wash. phenomenal ringside crew did their absolute best to get all the blood, at least off the canvas, because it is time, my friends, for our main event of the evening here at Validation. And welcome home to the King of the Ring, to the CMV Champion, Blake Virtue, who might be checking on Danielle Davis. There he is, with his friends, his family in the front row, set to defend the CMV Championship in our main event. Many would say that Schmidty is the greatest trash talker in CMV history. And he has done all that he can over these last few weeks to worm his way under the skin of Blake Virtue, calling him undeserving, saying that when the lights are on brightest, he will choke, and he'll do so in front of everyone that matters to him, in front of Danielle Davis, in front of the friends he has here watching him, and his family. Schmidty saying that Blake Virtue just does not have what it takes to sit atop the mountain, to sit on that throne as king. But Blake Virtue looks to prove otherwise here in Los Angeles, when those lights are on brightest, and when that crown jewel is on the line. But no matter what else, when that bell rings, Blake Virtue realizes who he's standing across the ring from. And he's not just the greatest trash talker in CMV history, he's the most merciless, the most sadistic. And he's the man that beat 29 others at Mob Violence to win the Men's Royal Rumble match. He has headlined Ascendance, a former world champion, and coming to change the game once again. Ruby Rattel earlier tonight, the Women's Royal Rumble match winner, bringing an end to the historic reign of Alice Blake. Will Schmidty follow in her footsteps? Blake Virtue's reign not nearly as historic, but it could be if he adds Schmidty to the list of those he has defeated to keep that championship around his waist. The CMV Championship. What it's all about here in our main event, a championship Schmidty has held. The main event of Ascendance 5. After Paul Devine defeated Chris Andrews, Schmidty came down to the ring, challenged Devine to a match on the spot, defeated him to become CMV champion. At Ascendance 8, he defeated Ace Reeves in the main event, retained the global championship. That was the last time Schmidty held World Championship gold here in CMV. Over 5 years. People have gone a whole lot longer. Tanner Slate went over 9 years between World Championship reigns. But it's the game changer Schmidty, the best bout machine Blake Virtue for the CMV Championship here at our main event at Validation. And we'll find out, has Schmidty's mind games, despite Virtue saying they haven't taken effect on him, as this match progresses, we'll find out if that's true or not. And Schmidty returned to in-ring action at Ascendance 13 when he lost so humiliatingly to Shea Hoxton. Many men probably would have tucked tail. They probably would have walked off with their head hung low, but not Schmidty. He got in the gym. He worked with Brett Angel. He busted his ass for months. And then he came back and, well, destroyed the city of Perth. He and Shea Hoxton. And then at Mob Violence, 29 of the men stood in his way. But Schmidty took them all down to win the Royal Rumble match. Late Virtue, of course, captured the CMV Championship at Attack on Australia. Finally able to slay the Ogre when it mattered the most. He retained it successfully at Mob Violence against Andrew Briggs in a fantastic match. But he says his reign is just beginning. And he's not going to allow Schmidty to walk back in here after so many years and just think he can take that top place again because it belongs to Blake Virtue now. He's going to go for a quick roll-up, try to embarrass Schmidty, pull a Shea Hoxton. Gets out of it, though, does Schmidty into a jackknife cover, which Virtue's able to kick out of at 1. And down to the floor. You know, there's once upon a time where we probably would have seen Cam Harris and Troy Colt out here in the corner of Blake Virtue. One of the biggest matches of his career. Well, they've had a busy night, though, the both of them. Virtue's got Schmidty back into the ring now after that reverse DDT on the floor. What the hell? Wait, who's coming out here? Well, someone's music is playing, but I don't see anybody. Now Schmidty's back to his feet. The Game Changer, is he trying to play some Jedi mind tricks last second? Well, what the hell was that? Well, we do know that a mystery attacker ambushed Blake Virtue a couple weeks ago during his match with Grim on Shockwave, but, well, Schmidty confidently said he had nothing to do with it. Grim also saying that it wasn't him. And it might have just been a technical difficulty, though. I might be looking too far into it. Either way, Schmidty, because of whatever the hell that was, has managed to now take control in this CMV Championship match. Just as Virtue was starting to get going, look how Schmidty doesn't let him get back up, stomping on him, punching him, but a forearm smash from the Best Bout Machine. Tries to kick it into the next gear, out of the corner. Another forearm, and followed up by a running bulldog. Just like that, Virtue hopes it's enough to retain, but just a 2 count. Schmidty gets to his feet. Virtue right there waiting for him. Irish whip on the rebound. There's the knee. Right across the jaw. Another pin attempt by the defending champion. That was a kick out at 1. Virtue's not going to risk it, especially after that, whether it was an accident or someone's trying to play around with Virtue. He's got to try to end this match now as fast as he can before they perhaps attempt a more direct interference. Taking a ringside where champion's advantage is in effect, my friends. Schmidty has to pin or submit Virtue in the ring to walk out of LA with the CMV Championship. Can't do it by a countout. Arm breaker to the Game Changer on the floor. And after all that Schmidty said, Virtue is not going to want to win this one by count. He's going to want to definitively put Schmidty down in the middle of the ring for absolutely everyone to see. Trying for that blockbuster out of the corner, but Schmidty's got him well scouted. Did his homework. Back to a knee party! It comes out of nowhere. 1, 2, kick out by the Game Changer. Crawls into the corner. That got him, and it got him good. He might have been able to kick out, but the challenger is dazed. And Virtue's going to stay on the attack. Double knees to the back of Schmidty, takes him down out of the corner. Now going to go up to Brett's rope. Locked in is Blake Virtue. Everything else must be put to the side. Drop kick to the chest. Damn! My man Schmidty inside out. And into the pin to retain the CMV Championship. But another kick out. Virtue going for a lot of pins. Oh, clothesline from Schmidty. Another one as Virtue tries to keep getting right back up. Duck the clothesline, turn around. Snap power slam. Vintage Schmidty. And in an instant with a hook of the leg. Take out at 2. So dangerous is Schmidty. More than anyone outside the ring for certain, but in that ring, amongst the best of the best. It's hard to admit that. A lot of people don't want to give Schmidty the satisfaction, but it's the truth. He's a former world champion for a good reason, and now he's got Virtue caught in a rear naked choke. Rear naked choke with the body scissors by Schmidty. But gets out of it, this Blake Virtue with an elbow to the jaw. Tries to spin Schmidty around, cracks him in the jaw right there. Virtue responds with a go to sleep. Knee to the face and snoozing. 1 count. Schmidty kicked out at 1. Virtue's having absolutely none of it. Oh, you know what he's setting up for. It never fails. Nobody has kicked out of it. And Schmidty's going to avoid it like the Black Plague. Old school Schmidty! 5 years since he won a world championship takeout. 2.5. But the game changer maintains control. Dropping a stiff elbow across the chest. As he now goes to the corner for a forearm to the back of the head. When Schmidty gets in that zone, he is relentless. And of course, never passes up on the opportunity to do a little bit of mocking, to rub salt in the wound, a stomp to the gut of our champion. Blake Virtue slowly pulled to his feet. The driver's seat belongs firmly to Schmidty right now. Back elbow. Trying to go for those legs. Take out the knees. Schmidty, genius. I think I'll say with full confidence, nobody has a higher ring IQ than Schmidty. He knows if he takes out those knees, every single big move of Virtue's is down the drain. He can't hit the GTS. He can't hit the knee party. Off that fist drop, tried to get the win. And now a lapel lock. Middle of the ring, Schmidty with a lapel lock. He's going to try to tap Virtue out. But gets out of it. Damage might have been done. Knee party! A desperate last-ditch attempt. 1, 2. And it does not pay off. Schmidty kicks out of the second knee party. I can almost see Virtue deflate before my very eyes. Delivers a knee to the gut. Responds with a slap to the ear. Chop to the chest by Virtue. Knife edge chop. Response in kind to Schmidty. Standing 10 toes down, the both of them here at our main event of validation. Neither will back down. Neither will budge. Both with so much to prove. CMV Championship on the line. Slap across the face, and now they're going for it. Shot for shot. Virtue rocks Schmidty. Gives him the opening he needs. Knee to the face. And still. No. Unreal, but Blake Virtue, he knows what it's going to take. Nobody has kicked out of the super knee party. He beat Morgan with it. He beat Grimm with it. But he won't beat Schmidty with it. Old school. 1, 2, 3. Schmidty is the new CMV champion. Virtue went for his best shot, but Schmidty knew it was coming. He had it well countered. And when desperation took over, Virtue went to the well one too many times, and Schmidty was prepared. years between World Championship wins. Schmidty does it again. He changes the game. What a match. Schmidty got into his head. Not to mention, it wasn't a technical difficulty. It wasn't someone playing mind games with Blake Virtue. That theme music playing early on in the match. Here's Virtue. He went for the super knee party, but Schmidty knew that it was coming. And old school Schmidty, a second time. I feel like time stood still there for a second. Once again, the CMV champion. Who's washed? Who can't still do it? You tell me. What a show. What a way to end it. Schmidty, the new CMV champion.